Okay. Oh, it's been a minute. I've got my voice back though, and I've had about a million different illnesses since the last stream, but we seem to be back. It's New Year's Eve, so if you're watching this, either today or over the next couple of days, hope you have a good New Year. I'm just jumping on to do a little bit more on our piggy game. I can't fully remember where we actually got to. Oh, something's just gone wrong with my mouse. Why has my mouse just stopped working then? Hold on a moment. Technical difficulties. Working now? Oh, there we go. We're on. Right, is everything working? Yep, seems my mouse was slightly unplugged, which is a tad weird. It's never happened before. Right. Alright, we get it. Just check the stream, check all the levels are good. And where are we? Yep. Well, it seems to be working good now. Right. Okay, so what's the plan for today? I haven't really got one, to be fair. Where did we get to last time? Did we get to placing? Yeah, we did. We got to placing. Right. Yeah. Cool. Right. So we've also did we get to the place where we can't place next to each other? Yeah. So you can't place too close to each other, but you can. Right. So there is a little bug where if they get too far away, the actual farmer guys don't shoot the closest pig to range. So I mean, the easiest way I can think of doing that. Where are we? Farmer guy prefab. I need the prefab. Is that the prefab? It's not the prefab because it's got no. Is that the prefab? Oh yeah, because all the scripts are right. So it gets the first unit within the game, which is what they all do. But then if that first unit doesn't die, they don't branch out and try and grab another one. If that makes sense. Like they don't try and get the closest one to them. So that's not a problem for now. What we want to be doing is we want to be doing like a basic movement of the mouse because of the camera because at the minute all we can do is just place where we can see, which is not good. And I don't want to be able to place. I suppose. I mean, you can't place. Oh, that's yeah. So we need to make that a little bigger. Yeah. So camera movement. Let's just work on some camera movement because at the minute we can't move anywhere, and that's problematic. So what we are going to do is we're going to go to scripts and we're going to create a new one called camera. You want to call it camera movement? I don't particularly want it to be camera movement because I want a couple of things to be going on within the camera. Let's call it manager, camera manager, because it's managing the camera. essentially. Oh, it's been a rough old couple of weeks. Oh, Christmas is a stressful time, isn't it? Can you see that? I want to zoom in a little bit so it's a little easier to understand. So this is going to be on the main camera anyway, so it doesn't matter. We can just add this script straight away. And what we want to be doing is, I want to do it so it's WASD of movement. So, but I don't want it to go up and down. I just want it to go left, right. I suppose back and forth is sort of a thing, but I don't want it to move relative to local position. So, I mean, let's just do left and right for now. I'm going to do it. Is it getting to the point where I'm going to start having to refactor my code because there's a lot of dirty stuff in here that I kind of need to... No, because it don't really matter. It's on here. Let's get it done game, innit? Right. So, let's just do it dirty. It's only for PC, so if input or get key is keycode dot. Let's do left and right for now. So A is going to be left, D is going to be right. Let's just. I wonder if transform.translator do it. Transform.translate. Because we're only moving the camera and it's not affecting anything. So translate, so that's X, Y, Z. And we want to be moving it on the... Well, it's saying there, well, the X. We want to be moving it on the X. So D would be plus, A would be minus, wouldn't it? X, Y, Z. So let's just move that one. And let's just see what happens. It should technically move it one every single time you click A. And just to make it so I can move back to where I was, let's just do D. Oh no, that's -1, isn't it? Well, I'm imagining so anyway. So that should do that. That should do that. So it should technically move left and right now, just on the translate. Just easy. And it's either going to go really quick or it's going to go really slow. But it should move nonetheless when we click a button. So we're there. There we go. Well, that was easy. So now we just need to do back and forth, but it needs to move back and forth, not like on the z-axis of the local axis. It needs to move back and forth on... Let's just put one there and kill that guy. Right. And then back and forth on the local, is it? How do you change? Is it one of these? Global. Yeah, so you see the global. It needs to be on the global. Now, I don't know if translate is local or global. So we're just going to copy these. And it's going to be W and S. So W will be plus, S will be minus, and it's not on the X this time, it's on the Z, I believe it is on the Z. So X, Y, Z, so that'll be -1. That'll be 1. Oh, where am I going? Back onto there, scripts open, there, right. Technically, it should technically work now. Yeah, see how it's going up and down instead of back and forth? It's doing it on the local, and it's too quick. We need to do something a little bit better than this. So let's just make this a little bit neater. I don't want it in the update function, so public void movement. Let's just copy all this into here, just so that's relative to there. So now we can get rid of that for now. We're going to set a speed as well. So do we want the left and right speed to be quicker than the back and forth speed, or do we all want it to be relative? So I mean, we can just put a normal speed for now. We'll do it as a float. We'll set that speed to equal to, let's just put 1 for now. And then in here, I'm assuming it's times speed. And let's just times time delta time. This is probably the wrong way to do it, but if it works, it works. So it's either going to move really slow or just continue to move really quick, but we can change the speed of it now. So game manager. No, game manager wants to be different to camera manager, doesn't it? So now, yeah, you see how it's moving slow now? Right, so if we just bump that up to 10 now, it should move a little bit quicker. There we go. But we don't want it to move left and right. Well, I mean up and down. We want it to move back and forth. So the easiest way I know to fix that is instead of the main camera being the parent, so you see how the main camera's doing that, yeah? So what we'll do is we'll do an empty game object, camera rig, let's call it the camera rig, and then we'll set it to the camera and zero it out, right? And then we move that out. Then the rotations, we'll reset the rotations. Actually, we can probably set that to 180 because it needs to be facing that way anyway. And then we've set the main camera to the camera rig. So now we put the script on the camera rig instead of on the actual main camera. Now it's going to follow the camera rig's transform. So now, technically, what should happen is it should follow the camera rigs. So there we go. That's the easiest way of thinking about doing that. So now we can move around the map like so, putting enemies down, and there's nowhere on the map we can't reach now to actually put stuff down. Let me just... So you see how we can move around the map now. But what we want to do is we want to set some constraints on the fact that we don't want to move like past a certain point. Otherwise we can just go like forever. I'll tell you what would be good. It'd be good to be able to move like up and down maybe. So we set the camera up a little bit just so we've got a little bit of something better to look at. Let's just try the field of view. So if we move the field of view, right? That's a little better. See how like you can get the full mapping now, as opposed to, right, so the field of view wants to be set at 73, let's not forget that. So we'll just put that to 73 straight away. And we're going to put the camera in the middle of the map for now. So it's somewhere around about there. I don't like this curve here. I might change that. And I'm pretty sure I can, because I'm pretty sure it's a prefab. Yeah, it is. It's a prefab. So I can go and change that. That's not a problem. But we've got the map basics. So what's the easiest way to constrain something into something else? Right. I mean, a dirty way of doing it would be to add a game object. Well, a collider. And add 4 walls. So then obviously when the collider hits, it's not going to go anywhere. And the good way of doing it would be to set constraints within a script of like certain positions within the map. So obviously, let's just go for instance, let's just try and do this, figure out the code way. So what we'd want to do is we'd want to set a constraint at, let's say, 20. And I'm imagining it'll be minus 20. Yeah, so 20 and minus 20 on the X, and then 20 on the Z, and minus 20. No piggy's getting through this time. I won't even know how you'd do that. How would you lock something to stop it going any further than it needs to? I mean, you can do it. There's an actual function for that, is there not? Or a class or something. I've done it before because you can lock constraints. How do you do it? Let me just try. Let me just try the dirty way first, and then we'll do it. So I'm just going to do a map. feel like that's the wrong way to spell boundaries. Probably wrong way to spell boundaries again. So let's just zero that out so it's in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a cube just so we can visualize the actual walls themselves. And the walls have to be, I mean, if we go to floor, where's the floor? Submap, terrible. So if we do 50, all right, no, 1, let's do 50, right, let's do 50. So then now, and we also need the boundaries to be higher than the actual camera itself, so it doesn't really matter how high. And then we'll just do this as wall underscore collider. We'll move that to there. Grab them. It's the y-axis, so we need to rotate them 90. And I've changed that. So global 8, you want to be doing 90. Why is that doing that? Local. Center. Because I was doing it on pivot. No, why is it doing that? Oh my god. Right, anyway, let me just try and do it that way. 90. Right. So obviously now, you're still going to be able to... I mean, I kind of like the walls. There's a little bit of weirdness going on there. But we can fix that. That's just because of the light. So obviously you can still move past. So you're still going to be able to like move out of the map for now. Just stick one down and get it killed. Right. So that's the map up and running. Now we need to set. Why has it gone so far out? Do you know? Come on. In we go. To the camera. Here we go. Global. That's annoying. There we go. Right. So if we put, I mean, if we attach a, let's say not a sphere. Is there a sphere collider? And make it a tad bigger. Right. Is that going to work? Like, is that going to interact? But I feel like because it's translate, it's not going to interact with walls. Yeah, no. But I wonder if I put a rigid body on there and not use gravity, is that going to work? Yep, there we go. So now we can't get through walls. And what we can do, so what we're going to do, I'm going to make some little like walls to go around, but now what we can do is we can get rid of the renderer, so now it's invisible walls. Just the easiest way I can think of doing it. It's just the quickest and dirtiest way I can think of doing it. So now we're not allowed out. You're not allowed that way, pal. You're not allowed that way. And I bet if you go to the corner, yeah, it'll get you out, right? So what we need to do is we need to set some constraints on freezing rotation because you don't want it to rotate. Oh, I'll tell you what would be good. I think I've just thought of something cool. So you eventually get out of map if you do corners, right? That's fine. But you're not really going to try... I mean, I'm not bothered about that glitch. If you want to glitch that, it's fine. But, I mean, it's only because the meeting very, very loosely. So, I mean, if I do the first two and set that to... Is it the Y or the Z? The Z, let's set that to 53, for instance. Right? Now that goes past. Let's do the second two. Is it Y or X? So 53. So now they're intersecting completely. I don't think I can get out of that now. just try. Oh, so you can eventually, right? And then that screws up the actual. Hang on a minute. If I do that, yeah, that stops. That stops any weird automatic movements. We're moving, and to get back in, oh, apparently I can just go in and out of the map now. Is that because I've froze the positioning? So if you freeze the positioning, does that mean rigid body is just completely useless against transform.translate? It sure does. Yeah, it does. Right. So we're not going to worry about that bug because it's not important. But what we are going to do, oh, I'm getting bombarded with messages. So that's the map constraint done, and that's the movement done. If we want to later, we can refine it, but I'm not going to because there's no point. It's the most basic. I just want it finished. I just want to finish a game. It will make me happy if this game gets somewhat finished. So that's the movement. That is simply lovely. What I want to do, see, I don't want to start scope creeping because it seems stupid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add what next? So we did the camera movement. That was quick. That was quite out of the way. I should really have done like a cello board or like a checklist to keep on track of what we're doing because now I'm just like procrastinating on what we can do next. Let's see. What can we do? What do we want to do now? What do we want to do now? So we don't camera movement, got points, pigs can do. So technically, I mean, can we lose? That's the main thing. So if we can't lose, the points just go into minus. Let's just spawn, well, that's more than 5 to be fair, but you get the point. I should speed this up really, shouldn't I? Come on. Yeah, watch how they turn this corner here. See how they slow down? That's bad on their part. But they don't slow down on that one. That's a way harsher corner. Weird. Right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bot. Minus. Right. Yep, so we need to sort that out for one. And I'm pretty sure it is in the... Is that getting anything? Yeah, the score's there, innit? Right, so we want to do a condition that if the points get below a certain point, we end the game. But I'm going to do this in a different one, so end game. And I've been messing around with stuff, right? Oh, we don't need to, because we've already got it hard coded into score. So I was gonna start messing about with stuff, but it don't matter. I'm not gonna for this game. I can't bother. Public, just in case I need to grab it from anywhere. Void end game. Why have I done a capital ENG? Stay now. End game. Right. So if points, is it points? No. So if can't remember my own wording. So if points less than or equal to 0, then 1 score needs to be equal to 0 because we don't want it past 0. And if that's the case, then we want to do something. Now we're already getting... Oh no, we're not. Hold up. Yeah. Yeah, no, the text. So we're already getting the GUI from the canvas. And how are we getting that? What are we doing with that? Point equals dot text. Oh, we're setting that on its own, aren't we? So, I mean, what we can do is we can do game ends, and then what do we do? What do we do? We can do game ends GUI dot. Is it set active? Dot. Can it be dot game object? If it's true, truer. But on start, it wants to be false because we don't want to see it, right? And then it should give us another GUI. Yep. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to canvas. I'm going to copy the text. Where are you? Let me get better positioning on this bad boy. And copy that. Bring it over here. To the center of the screen, and we will do it to the center of the screen. Position 45. So yeah, I want it like there. I want it dead center. Oh, so I can just zero it out. Zero it out. Yep, zero it out. Cool. Right, and then what we need to do is, what do we want to say? So obviously we've lost all our apples. All the apples have gone. And we're going to centralize that and then make the width a bit bigger and the height a bit bigger. Right, cool. And then obviously now it'll just always stay within the center of the screen no matter how big your screen is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make the text fine. Can we bold it? Oh, we totally can. Cool. And then I've only got Arial. Right, so all the apples have gone. End game. So then we need to add the end game text in. So now when we click play, that end game should technically disappear. Yes. And then when all of our apples are gone, which is 5, I'll do 6 just to prove a point that it won't go past 0, for instance. Oh, it's becoming very, very bright in here. The sun is coming out, it's lovely. Right, so 3, 2, 1. Right, so now it's come up, so that's worked. But it's not going past 0, so again, that's worked. So now that's worked. What we want to be doing is we want to be restarting, don't we? So we want a little button, don't we? We want a little button that basically says restart, essentially. So we'll do canvas and we will create a UI. Do I want just a legacy button? Just a simple one? Or do I want just a normal button? Oh, TextMesh Pro, can't be asked for that. I have had no amounts of problems with TextMesh Pro, so I'm just going to do a legacy button. Because you can do just as much with this legacy button as you can with anything else. And within that text, we want to do restart. Cool, right. Because obviously you can change whatever you want to change within the button itself, so that's fine. But you can also do on click, so if it's on click, then we can do a restart basically. And it's with that one in it. So I mean, we can go to functions and set game manager, end game. So yeah, we can set it within here. which is fine. Obviously, when endgame gets called, so we're going to set another one. So when endgame gets called, it'll restart the whole game. And then obviously on start, it'll get rid of the apples and blah de blah de blah. But let's make this text a little bit better. Okay, so restart, that's cool. The text, the actual font needs to be white, just to make it look somewhat appealing. Let's make it bold as well. Nah, we won't make it bold, there's no point. Again, we're going to bring in fonts and stuff to sort all that shebang out. I'm just going to bold that though, because do I want it bold? Do I need the points bold? Let's bold the points. Screw it. So on the restart, we need to basically restart the game. And the easiest way I knew how to do that was load level, but I know that's just deprecated now. Is it deprecated? Is that the word? Deprecated? Something like that. So now we need to... What do we need to do? What do we need to do? So that's end game, essentially, right? And once end game gets called, which gets called every frame, so we don't want to be doing that. We want to be doing if score. So if this is the case, then we'll call restart level, right? Again, I don't know if this is the dirtiest way of doing this, but I'm just going to do it anyway, because why not? Because I don't... The on-click functions settings with the... what am I doing? Restart level. I've had troubles with the actual on-click functions as well, right? So let me just save that out so it gets saved, and it's in the game manager anyway, and the button's already set up for the game manager. So you see this on-click thing here, right? I always have trouble getting it to work, because sometimes it don't work. So end game, so we can call restart level, right? So if we call restart level, so we click the button, it calls that function, or method, or whatever you want to call it. I call it a function because I started out in JavaScript and it's just stuck in my brain. The method should technically restart the game over, right? And the only way we're going to know how to do it's going to do that is because a pig will spawn. But to restart the proper way, I don't actually know how. So let's just go to Google, because a million people have done it before. Restart current scene. Unity, so... Whoa! Chill out. Right, I just need the code. I don't care about you explaining. Yep, cool. Yeah, amazing. Show me the code. So it is literally how I did it. Why? What? Can't you just see? Why do people always overcomplicate? Right. Using Unity Engine dot scene management BOP. So then it goes scene manager dot load scene. I want to say it used to be just like application.load level, and then you put this string in or the number and it'd do it. So why is it? Oh, this is... Just give me an easier way. Just give me an easy way. It's going to be that, innit? Build index. Hmm. I miss application.load level. Why do they have to always complicate stuff? Right. So, string current scene, scene manager dot active scene dot name, and then current load scene, blah blah blah. Right. So, let's just see if this works, and then we'll get to it. See how the bloody hell it works. One line solution. Right. So I've seen this everywhere. Build index. So I'm assuming it's just going to get the first one, but I know we need to add it to. I know we need to add it to the build settings. So we'll go to scenes, main game, boom. What's that one? Can we delete that? Yes, we can. Right. So now, technically, if we lose, click the restart button. It's going to work, but we need to code the restart button in because of right now it's not working. So we need to do public button, and that's going to be the restart button. Then in here, we're going to do dop and just change the name of that. Grab that and set that to true. Truer again. And then once that comes about, that becomes true, you can click it and it'll load the scene. I mean, why would it not work, eh? And before we test it, I'm just going to do some cleaning of the variables because it's really annoying me. So let's do header, and we'll call this GUI. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do another one called score. And the item is in farmer spawning, so let's just kill them. Save. And actually GUI can probably go bottom because I don't really need that. Right. Okay. So it's all there. So if we click play now, it should disappear. Everything disappears. Everything's 5. So we know it's going to work because I'm manifesting it. But what I want to do is I'm just going to change the enemy speed from 3 to, let's do 10. So it's like a race car. Let's just do all them. Bop, 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 bop. Oh, it got called automatically. Why is that then? I mean, it's working, but for some reason the button's just automatically getting caught. Like on click, it's not. See, it's just never that easy, is it? Can I take this out? No, it's not in game, is it? It's there. Let me just take that out. Is that still going to work? It's a piggy race. So I should click restart now. Should restart. There we go. Right. So now the restart works. So technically now, I mean, it's the most basic game in the whole entire world, but technically, we do begot ourselves a game loop. Oh, yes. Come on. Right, so now we need to work on the spawner because the spawner is a little bit lackluster because I can't keep clicking space to spawn stuff. So, what are we going to do about that? Because I've never actually done a spawner before. And the spawner, oops, there, look. Yeah, so if I click space, it spawns them. Oh, right. So, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? What do we want to do today? What do we want to do with this one? I mean, we don't want to spawn one on start, do we? Because that makes no. So we'll just comment that out for now, just to leave it there. But what we want to do is we want to kind of grab a pig from. Hang on, let me get down to my map again. I mean, I know there's an easier way, but I'm just going to get down to my map. So we want pigs. Whoa. We want a little farmhouse is what we want, right? So, I mean, do we just, I mean, right, hang on. So we're going to put everything inside the map boundaries that is to do with the map visuals, right? So let's just create a cube. Let's just call this farm house. And we'll move it up to there and we'll make it so it's a bit bigger. Right. And then obviously this is our farmhouse. Somehow, in some weird way, right? And then within the farmhouse, we'll just do some more. But instead of doing that, we'll do that and that. And then bring it there and rotate. Bring it down. And duplicate that. Bring it there. They're a bit fat. I don't like how fat they are. They're meant to be fences. And then I mean, why did that just stretch to pretty much the right? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. And then have that there. Duplicate that. Make that a tad wider. Well, not that wide, but you know what I mean. And then what happens is, instead of it looking like the pigs are just escaping from somewhere random, they're going to escape from here. Right? So what we'll do is, we'll just put some fake piggies in. And I'm gonna make this a prefab. I'm gonna unpack it because now it's just its own entity. We can leave all that. We actually don't need colliders on any of them. So let's just get rid of the colliders. And we definitely don't need a nav mesh. And we don't need that. And we don't need that. We just need an empty pig, essentially. I mean, yeah, whatever. I just need visuals. It's just visuals, that's all we need. So now, and then we'll just duplicate this. And basically, all that's going to happen now is it's going to look, and we're going to put these inside of the farmer's house, just to keep it all nice and collective. Oh no, what's happened to him? It don't matter. I'm not bothered. I've gone a bit deformed. So now obviously when the pigs spawn, it looks like they're actually coming from the farm, not just. We're adding logic to the fort. Is basically what I'm doing. Okay, now what are we doing? Iki diki. So what was we doing? Spawner. So do we just want a constant stream or do we want levels? Right, let me just do a header and we'll call this spawner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a public integer, call it levels. We're going to do a public so how do we want to do it? So we need to grab the amount of pigs that are getting spawned. But it needs to be. So it wants 5 pigs spawning. That's a for loop. Once it gets to 0, so yeah, we'll do an int again and then number to spawn. Let's just try that out for now. Let's just get the for loop working first. So number to spawn. That just adds, so we don't want that. Is less than number to spawn dot length. Oh, because it's already an integer, I don't need to get the length, that's fine. Instantiate. So that technically should instantiate 5. Am I right? Number to spawn equals 5. I'm not totally clued up, so int I equals 0. If I is less than number to spawn, do that. Right, so it's on it. It should only I plus plus 5. Right, hang on, we will get this working. I'm not totally like clued up on all things for looped. I mean, should that not be spawning? No? Is the start the spawner? It is. Put that back to 0. Okay. Quick, we need field agents. I think I lost, but I can't be too sure. Hey, that can handle quite a few pigs, that, can't it? Could be going on forever if you have a decent PC. Okay, so that's not it. Let's just do that. I plus plus. So now we're gonna have to do some Doobie doobie. So for loop max number. Oh God, I wish more people watch me stream so I could do stuff with them, explain stuff. Right. It's not spawning anything at all now. So if that was 0, would it spawn? No. If it was 10, would it spawn? No. 5. Makes no difference. It's still going to work. It's just going to send out 1,000,000 of them. Yep. But there's a way to clamp it. I know there is. We're just studying right now. That's why I'm a bit quiet. Okay, Mr. Jones. I just want to follow. Why is right? So code repeats. Iteration counter I plus plus. Oh, there we go. The first element is executed once when the loop starts. Is typically used to create a local variable used to count through iterations of the loop. The second statement must evaluate. Check. The last statement is what happens after each loop. Typically modified any variable introduced. Just an example of what it means. Mm. Right. So I think it's because I'm running it every frame. So technically it should spawn 5, but because it's running every frame, there we go. So it is working, it's just because I was spawning at every frame. Right, so one. If I set that to one, it should only spawn one, right? Right, yeah. So, and then every time it spawns, we'll do number to spawn minus equals 1, right? So then every time one spawns, that number decreases, and once that hits 5, and number to spawn is greater than literally, it can't be equal, because if it equals, it'll still run. Equal to 0, greater than 0, that'll run. So if I just show you now, so number to spawn starts out at 5 if we click play. So it's 0 now, there's 5. It's not letting me do any more because it's not greater than 0, right? And then levels, once, right, so once, if number to spawn is less than or equal to 0, then levels plus equals 1. And number to spawn equals, let's do a random, let's just do a random dot range, is it? Random range, yep. And then this can be integers as well, even though it says it's a float. So between 2 and 4. Would that work? So number to spawn, so if it equals 0 equals, so we need to save the numbers to spawn at the start of every level round. Right. How would we do this? How would we do this? I kind of need to cache the numbers to spawn from the beginning. This is where it starts getting a bit techie. Well, let's just try that for now. +1. So essentially, what should happen is once it goes to 0, once numbers to spawn is less than 0, the levels will +1. So then it should go to level 2, and then it'll just randomly give me an amount to spawn. So let's just put levels to 2. Right. So now the next problem is because, yeah, right. So you see how levels spawn, so it should let me spawn 3, 2, yeah, right. So because when it equals 0, it's doing it automatically, and right, there we go. How would we do this? Public transform. Pigs in scene. I still can't remember how you do it. Is that how you do it? No. Is that an array? Right, so in the update, pigs in scene equals game object dot find game objects with tag. I don't actually know what they're called. Is it enemies? Oh, it's just pig. We can do that as game objects when we're doing account. So that should +1 every time we spawn one. It should add it into our array. So obviously it's going to give us an error saying there's no pigs in scene. Oh, yeah, it is. It's going to give us it because we've technically got 4 pigs in scene. With, well, 3 pigs. Let's just untag them as pig. Alrighty then, so back to start. Let's just play that again. We're going to get an error. Oh, we're not. But you see how it's adding them? Right, so it needs to be minus, so less than minus. So because it counts down, it's 5. 5 counts, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0 is, yeah, right, so what we need to do is set a condition here that says and pigs in scene dot length is less than or equal to 0, right? So essentially what should happen now is, because, why is that giving me that? Because I don't need that. Because there's going to be 5 pigs in scene and it's not less than 0, it's not going to send our levels up until there's 0 pigs in scene, right? So essentially what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to prove a point where, yeah, we can't add any more now. But if I add some, right, you see how we've gone level up? So if I spawn now, 2, and that one dies, see how it's level 3? Level 4, and so on. But we can't spawn anymore. However, we do get, why is the 4 on line 29? Why is that giving me a, oh yeah, because there's no pigs in scene. I mean, it needs to be an update 'cause it needs to catch. There's so much of a better way of doing this. That's what I mean. Such a doggy way of doing it. But what we can do to get around that technically is we can do this and add that. So then now there's always going to be a pig in scene, right? But that's going to break the whole thing of that's 5, and let's just kill them. Oh. Oh, why is that? What's going on here? That's weird. Let me just spawn. Eh? Am I missing something here? What's going on? Why are they not following it? What have I done? Ah, see, that's problematic. That's one thing we actually did need to sort out. Right, right. We get it. I get it. So it's one of these pigs that are tagged, and because it's too close to it, it's right. That makes sense. So instead of doing it that way, we get the start. Oh, do you know? Right. So we've took the tag off, but we've assigned it to the picking scene. So we shouldn't technically get the error of not having pigs in scenes, and that should start working again now. Right, there we go. Oh, it did. Oh, it did. And so we spawn one again. Why did that delete that one though? That shouldn't delete that one. Oh, it's because it's trying to find the pigs. Right. So one way to get around doing it like that, I mean, I'm just doing it the most scuffed way possible. But one way to get around that would be to have it so the farmers have uh, a radius around them. So once a pig gets in there, do that sort of thing. But what the farmers are doing at the minute is they're trying to find the pig enemy and just shoot at it. They're finding the first one, but they're not finding the closest one. So how would I do that? Would that be a trigger? Wouldn't it? So it's because it's getting called every frame and there's no pigs in scene. That's what it is. Yeah, so pig unit. So if hit transforms pig, blah de blah. Shoot distance, and because it's looking at the pig unit, pig unit equals game object dot. Right. Not to do with spawner then. I mean, it will be. If we do that, it's going to break something, but it shouldn't give me the error. It's just not gonna add. So what is giving me the error? Well, that's on the farmers, mate. That never gave me the error before, though. Never got that error before. And obviously, the more farmers mates you add in, the more errors you're going to get. So, I mean, that can get put back. Because it's not picking seed and it's trying to get the pig from the seed. It's so annoying. How can we do it? It needs to be done every time it spawns. So it needs to be ran every single time it spawns. It's the wrong one, it's that one. Shooting's got nothing to do with it. It needs to be on spawn, so what we're gonna do, 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 I don't know. Oh, right. So we, good people, are going to procrastinate because oh man. Let's see. I mean, it's working. It's just really annoying that. I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Spawner's already. Oh. What's the spawner on? Spawner's on start. Let's tag this as. Let's scuff this shit. Right. So on the farmer's mate, what we need to do is we need what do we need? Give me some space to think. So we need to get the spawner equals game object. Nope. Game object dot find game object with tag spawner dot get component, and we need to get the spawner dot . pigs in scene. Pigs in scene dot lem. Right. So why is that not working? Right. So then, oh yeah, it is an integer in it. So if spawn is greater than 0, then run this. But if it isn't, don't run it. And it's not going to run it if it's greater than 0. So I want to say greater than 1, but then that's just going to... Right, so if spawn... Yeah, so that is just getting the length of pigs in scene. So as soon as it's greater than 0, it's going to run. I love getting rid of errors. Oh, that's beautiful. Love it. More scuff way of doing it. There it is. Right. That's lovely. Right, now we need to do it so that we don't have to click space. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a public timer. That's going to be in float, and it's going to be called timer. Numbers to spawn, levels. Yeah, because we want to keep track of levels. We want to keep track of number to spawn, but I suppose we don't. But we can serialize field it so it comes up in the inspector. We need that to be public, so we need to be able to reference it within this script. Sure, we need to do the timer. So what we're gonna do is pigs in the scene, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's fine. Let's put this at the bottom. And then timer is going to equal to 1 for now. If timer is less than or equal to 0, well, that's that in it. That's what we need. Timer is less than or equal to 0. So what we need is timer minus equals time dot delta time. If timer equals 0, do that. Timer equals 1. Or timer equals, we can private this. No, we need to public it. Public float. Equals 1. Right, and then timer equals max timer. So then this is just to set like how long it's gonna be before it does it. So essentially that should go down. That should minus, like it should take 1 second if it's all right. So where's timer? Timer equals 1. So it should take a second. There we go. That's only spawned 3 that time. It's only spawned 2. Lovely. That's only spawned 2. What level are we on now? We're on level 5. We need to make it increasingly difficult, not increasingly easy. Right. Tell you what, we've done some stuff today. For an hour and 20 minutes, we've kind of got pretty far. So I'm going to call it here, guys. To be fair, we've done quite a bit. We've done camera movement. We've done... What have we actually done? We've done camera movement. We've done a basic spawning system now. Yeah, we've done a basic spawning system. So let's just put a condition in that if timer is less than or equal to 0, then timer equals 0 until that condition is met, and then it equals the max timer again. Right. So let me just double check that works. Because I don't like it when the timer starts like... We also need to put a condition in the fact that we're not allowed. So that timer, that timer will never go past 0 now. But when they all die, it'll get reset to 1. We also need to put a condition in where we can't just like absolutely spam farmers. I mean, it's coming along quite well. They made it well far. What was happening there? Problem is, the pig behind. Look at that one. This is mint. I'm proper happy with this. I can't wait to get visuals going. Well, they're going to be boring streams, I reckon. Well, this might be a boring stream, I don't know, but I'm finding this very entertaining. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Right, yeah. So I'm going to leave it there. We've done quite a bit. I mean, we've got it restarted. We've got a game loop now. We've got a basic spawning system. We can iterate on that in the next one. Points work. We can die. In next one, I do want to add it so that the game pauses when it dies, but otherwise it's just going to continuously spawn. We need to put a condition in where if we die, then it stops spawning, basically. That'd be easy, actually. So in... Is it this one? Yeah, so the game manager, all we need to do is reference the spawner, grab the timer, and just once the score equals 0, equal the timer to 1 so it can't move, essentially. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you for watching if you've watched. I hope you have a good new year if you're watching this anytime within now and the next year. But yeah, till next one, which will be, I want to say tomorrow, I reckon. But yeah, thank you guys, and peace out.